What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Koop'd podcast, the podcast that is zooming onto your movie screens on April 8th. Or not, I don't know. As always, folks, my name is Koopa, and each week I sit down with a friend talking about all the happenings in pop culture across all of your favorite mediums. And this week, folks, we are running it back, emphasis on running, with some big news that popped up this past week. By the time you hear this podcast, about a week will have passed, but it is still very fresh in the minds of me and my guests that we officially have a trailer for not just the second installment of the Sonic the Hedgehog film franchise, but the latest edition of the Sonic the Hedgehog video game franchise. And listen, I couldn't do this without our local Sonic expert and friend. You might remember him from the last episode we did where we talked about Brooklyn Nine-Nine and how the last season was okay. Please welcome back to the show, friend, countryman, current employee of is it so yeah, it's Crunchyroll still, right? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, there we go. This is my brain is mush. Yeah, Camalange is back in the show. Hey man, what's going on?
A little stretch, a little snack, and here we go.
Oh my god, what a show, man. This is exactly why I couldn't have done this without you. Cam, what's up? How you doing, man?
You know, I'm just riding the highs of all this Sonic news, and I'm excited to chat with Koopa, New Jersey, all about it.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to talk to you about it too. Again, we are brothers in blue, taking in that Sonic copium of what to expect from this latest franchise. But first, before we get into that, again, I want to give you guys let you guys know you can listen to the Koop'd podcast on all your favorite listening platforms, but also make sure to listen to us on the BLEAV.com website as well. That the more clicks and make sure to download the podcast as well, just to it'll really help out the show. Obviously, better ad revenue and all that stuff. So the more downloads you guys get on the show, the better it's going to be for me moving forward. So you can check us out on the host site at believe.com/shows/cooped -up. So if you guys are interested in looking that up, by the time you listen to this podcast, the latest episode of my show, focusing on all things Spider-Man, featuring Glentendo and Riz, will have been up. So make sure you guys go ahead and listen to that, as well as the various other shows that me and Cam have done. I think you are now tied back with Glentendo for most appearances on the podcast. So.
What? I'm tied? All right. I'm gonna kick his ass. I'm coming for you, Glenn.
Once I finish A Good Place, I think we'll be able to break that tie.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you got to bring me back for the Good Place episode.
Yeah, spoiler alert, finished the first season, so that was something. But that's for another show. But yeah, listen, like we mentioned, some interesting stuff in Sonic Land happened this past week. And yeah, Cam, it seems like whenever we don't plan on doing anything content related together, Sonic just kind of drops a present in our lap. So I truly, if the holiday rush wasn't already stressful enough, now we have to do content on Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, that guy follows his own rainbow. You never know when it's going to happen. So we just have to, we got to adapt. We live and we learn. And we do. I mean, what kind of world would this be if we didn't express our thoughts and opinions on Sonic the Hedgehog? The people would be lost. They wouldn't know what's going on. Side note, completely unrelated, but you should do an episode with me and Riz. It's gonna be that would be a good group.
Ooh, we should.
It'd
That'd
be
be
an
a good
excuse
one
for me to talk to Riz.
We'll manifest it. I'll find something for us to talk about.
All right, perfect.
We'll figure something out.
Can it just be the roast of Koopa?
You know what? I'm out of here. This show's over, folks. See you guys next week.
No in-flight movies.
Weenie Hut Jr. Yeah, so like we mentioned, obviously one of the biggest cycles in our neck of the woods this past week was, again, not only the reveal of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 trailer, featuring your favorites as well as some new characters. Also, we got the official confirmation Sonic's next iteration on next gen consoles is going to be called Sonic Frontiers. So we will get all those thoughts and more. But I think well, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the movie, or do you want to start with the game? Where do we want to land this plane first?
I think we should start with the movie. There's a lot more to cover with the movie.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, as there's a lot more known information. First and foremost, the movie was revealed at the Game Awards, and I had zero intentions of watching the Game Awards this year because unless there's a Smash announcement or anything, I don't really go out of my way to watch these things. Got to be totally honest with you, but there was an announcement earlier in the week that they will be revealing the trailer for the new Sonic film at the Game Awards. So, Cam, I think you probably watched about the same amount of the Game Awards as I did because they didn't really announce when they were going to show the trailer, any of the Sonic stuff. So, what were your thoughts of the award show this year?
Yeah, with Game Awards, I always forget it's happening until the day before. It's like, oh right, yeah, Game Awards is tomorrow. So I think that's usually the reaction of most people. And I generally watch it every year. And I use the word watch loosely. It's like I'll have it on in the background or something just in case something happens. But I remember distinctly there was the year where they revealed Joker for Smash. I was out and about. Like I think I was like out drinking with some coworkers, and we were just walking back from somewhere, and someone's like, "Joker's in Smash," and I think like I don't even know if I knew Game Awards was happening that night. So, and I think what's even wilder about that reveal was that typically Nintendo doesn't align any of their announcements with actual relevant events. So the fact that like they revealed Joker at Game Awards is just like insane that they had any kind of strategic thought outside of their own world. So typically with Game Awards, it's like a lot of games I don't care about, a lot of new games that all kind of blend together for me. But then there'll be like a couple of gems sprinkled in there. Whereas this year with Game Awards, I think it was much more on brand for Nintendo. They literally didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Just zero announcements, zero presence outside of like you running the same ad during the commercial breaks, and then also having 4 games nominated in the best family game category and still losing. So really outstanding showing by Nintendo. I think the coolest thing probably for them was that Metroid was a dormant series for the last 1,000 years, and so the fact that it was nominated across so many categories, I think is pretty cool. I love that for the Metroid fandom. But I think even looking at the games that were nominated for Game of the Year, I guess maybe in retrospect, it just wasn't like a huge year for games. I think a lot of production timelines are messed up because of COVID and things like that. And a lot of like the bigger stuff is coming either like just came out or is coming out soon, like Halo Infinite and a lot of those games. So looking at like the games that are nominated, I'm like, yeah, these are all like good games. Are any of them like game of the year? I don't know. And it's not like an insult to those games necessarily, but I feel like none of the games that were nominated had a particularly large impact on like gaming, if that makes sense. I mean, like Metroid Dread coming back is really cool. It Takes Two is a very novel game, and I don't think it doesn't deserve to win. But I don't know. I was looking at the list, and I was like, yeah, these are all good games.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being like too judgmental, but I felt like it was just kind of a slower year. But there was still like I don't know. I guess the weirdest thing for me is I thought the most interesting reveals at Game Awards were adaptations of games into a movie and a TV show. I'm like, that's neat. There weren't a lot of new games where I was like, oh wow, that looks like something I'm gonna have to play.
Yeah, the only thing of that nature that I got like remotely interested about was that Star Wars Eclipse game that they showed.
Oh yeah.
Strictly because like I'm not gonna like tout myself as like a huge Star Wars fan because like I'm not, but like I am. But, like I like Star Wars enough. My problem with Star Wars for years is that they've like refused to do anything outside of the Skywalker like trilogy, or like any of those. It all has to be kind of like tied into the Skywalker family somehow. And like I just kind of roll my eyes and like get sick of it after a while. But they showed that it's going to take place in like the High Republic era, which is like thousands of years before the Skywalkers even existed or something, if I remember correctly. And that's really cool. And not just with that, but like Star Wars Visions, that came out on Disney Plus earlier in the year. That was dope. So it's good time to be a Star Wars fan around this time of the year. But yeah, I don't know. Like I looked at this best games category, and I'm not gonna lie, it took me until like maybe a few hours ago to realize that Psychonauts 2 was not like Scribblenauts. I don't know why I put those two games together.
Oh
I was
no.
like, wait, what? I was like, wait, what? This game was not.
Koopa.
Yeah, I know. I'm a jerk. Uh,
I've never actually played Psychonauts. I heard it's really good though, so I should probably play Psychonauts. I just never got around to doing it.
Yeah, that's a game I've like never like gone out of my way to like really do much research into. But yeah, again, good to see Metroid nominated across most of these big categories. It's funny because like a lot of these games are nominated in all the same categories, but they all lose to like the one game that isn't nominated in the rest of the categories with them.
Yeah.
Because I look at like the best narrative game and like It Takes Two and like Deathloop and Psychonauts is there, and a loss to the Guardians of the Galaxy game that I guess came out this year.
Oh god,
Question
yeah.
mark.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of the big games this year are like I I don't know. I feel like like Deathloop, I haven't played it. I'm sure it's good. It seemed like an interesting concept, but I feel like it didn't generate that much buzz. Um, and then Ratchet and Clank, like, is awesome as hell. So that one deserves it. And I feel like a lot of people were kind of disappointed with the new Resident Evil. Um, like it was kind of a mixed bag. People seem to either like it
yeah,
or think it was like not like one of the better iterations in the franchise. So I don't know. It's just a weird spread of games. Like, uh, I don't know. It's not necessarily like bad. I'm not trying to like be too critical here, but I feel like I don't know. Let me put it this way. It just feels like a very strange year when It Takes Two is
yes,
winner of the game of the year. And that's not to be any shade to the people who created that game because it's a really cool game and it's great. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but it does seem like I don't think there are a lot of like rabid fans being like, "Oh my god, It Takes Two! It like this game of the year," So I think that it's just like it was just kind of a strange year for games, but I'm definitely very happy that they like for them, and I think it's cool to have like because that's like technically that's like kind of an indie developer, right?
yes. From what I recall, I think
Yeah.
you're right.
So that kicks ass. But yeah, I don't know. Generally speaking, it's kind of I like whenever I looked at the categories, I was like, yeah, this seems about right. Like these seem like the right nominees, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I like also like for time is such a flat circle that I totally forgot that the Game Awards like happened last year already. Because I was like, wait, has there already been like a year already? I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right. They revealed Sephiroth at the Game Awards like last year, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, like where's the
Wait,
time
was
now?
was Sephiroth revealed at Game Awards?
Yeah, he
Oh,
was a world
okay.
premiere last year.
Okay, I forgot about that. That's right. For some
Yeah,
reason, I thought
time is
Sephiroth was like something was in like a direct. So okay, I guess I'll give Nintendo that one.
yeah. So good on them.
Yeah.
That was a mind melter. Also, Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl robbed as the best fighting game when they
Hmm.
clearly have the best roster. They have Garfield. Come
They,
on, man.
yeah. I mean, wasn't it nominated before Garfield was revealed? So I think
Yeah,
the the voters wouldn't have had that information to make that decision. So
did you see that the devs made it that you actually can't play Garfield on Mondays on that game?
isn't that?
Nick
I
All
think that
Stars?
was debunked. Wasn't that a
Was it?
rumor? I think it
I
was
thought.
debunked.
Oh man.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Honestly, if it's real, take it with a grain of salt because I'm not a source of news. I'm merely a podcaster that talks about video games.
Yeah.
Um, don't
I,
come to me for medical advice before you come to me about game roster information. But
Look, I
uh,
think the biggest crime of Game Awards is that Dream is content creator of the year. The one who is like very obviously a cheater. And
Yeah.
like, how did that one get through
I,
the screeners?
I don't know, man. I'm ready. I'll start beef with Dream stands in 2022. I'm ready for the Minecraft smoke. I don't care anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean, the real content creator of the year should be Video Game Donkey, but he'll never get the proper recognition. I just love, like, I'm waiting for the next, because he keeps doing a series of videos where he calls out Dream and then apologizes to Dream, takes back his apology and apologizes again. So now that Dream has won content creator of the year, I'm waiting for the Donkey video on that one. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Other things that I thought were like, kind of cool, like you said, like a lot of the announcements were like the not in game stuff, like the Halo TV series
Hmm.
is interesting. That's something I've heard like rumored to be a thing, like dating back to like 2000, like
Dude,
six,
yeah,
2008
I
or
think
whatever.
I feel like that was literally like announced like over a decade ago. Like,
Yeah.
like, just speaking of Donkey, I remember him doing an E3 video that like covered like that like had like Spielberg announcing that he was going to do it, and I feel like that was like so long ago. Like, that's such an old video.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that,
assumed it was canceled. Like, just got to a point like, oh, they must have just scrapped it quietly and never talked about it again. But it's
yeah.
happening, and Paramount has it, Paramount Plus. So they have Paramount now has the Sonic live action and the Halo live action. So I'm just put the pieces together.
Put the cinematic universe together.
Uh huh. I'm
Um,
waiting.
oh man, I'm here for it. Yeah, that was cool. Among Us VR is funny,
Oh,
I guess.
that was a funny reveal. That was like the shortest trailer, but probably one of the most effective.
Yeah, if the initial Sonic Frontiers trailer didn't exist, I would say it was like a crime to call it a trailer.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, that was cool. And the Cuphead DLC,
yeah.
that's
I was
cool.
about to say that, but the only thing other than like that, the stuff that we covered, the thing I was probably most excited about is Cuphead DLC Island. Was it the last delicious course? This is
Yes,
the last delicious
the
course.
delicious last course. There we go.
Delicious last course. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I love Cuphead. I was just talking about that with my roommate Connor about how like it's. I feel like I spent so much time playing that game, but my total gameplay was like 10 hours to 100% it. But
Oh
I had
wow.
to like stretch that out over a long period of time because you play that game for like more than 40 minutes, and you just like want to fucking kill somebody. Like, I get so mad, and then like it was like foolproof thing where if I got stuck, my golden rule with Cuphead was if I played the same boss for an hour, hard cut off. Like, I stopped playing the game, and every time without fail, if I was playing a boss for an hour, quit, and then revisit it the next day, I would get it like first try, like
Yep.
without fail, because it literally it becomes like it gets to a point where you're not fighting the boss anymore and you're fighting yourself. It's
Yeah.
like your frustration you keeps making you like you overthink it, you get in your own head, you just keep making like the same mistakes over and over again, whatever it is. So when you go into it with a fresh look and like a fresh mind, but you know everything, you get it like first try because your muscle memory is like basically there, but you're not doing the stupid bullshit that you keep doing that keeps like pissing you off. So
Yep.
that was how I got through Cuphead, was if I spent too long on a boss, I called it a day, came back, beat it like almost immediately, and then yeah, I did 100% in like I think it was 10 hours was the my final count on that. So I'm looking forward to getting really pissed off again.
I'm inserting the Ron Swanson gif of "I'm really proud of you" right now. Yeah, listen, all that looks dope. Cuphead's dope.
Hmm.
That game's a lot of fun. The other stuff that they announced was pretty cool. I Did they do a Muppet collab this year? I don't remember if they did or not.
No, there was there's Pot Friend, and then I made the very good joke on Twitter.com saying I think everyone has a pot friend.
I think
Uh,
yes, you
uh,
were correct.
yeah, they did some. they Imagine Dragons is there, or at least the guy from Imagine Dragons.
Oh yeah, because of Arcane, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for Arcane, which I'm halfway through that shit. I think I'm actually no, I think I'm a little more than halfway through Arcane right now. So I was like, I understand what's going on.
yeah.
Um, can I, so my golden rule with anime is like I don't skip the openings. Like I just don't, unless like
Uh-huh.
very occasionally, like if I'm binging something, I might skip an opening to catch up. Like, but that's almost never the case. But like I might do it with like One Piece because I'm like I've seen the same intro like 1,000 times and I'm like
Yeah.
5 episodes behind. I'm just gonna skip to like 7 minutes in when the episode finally starts. But
Yeah.
like with Arcane, I just don't like Imagine Dragons. I just
That's
I think his voice just like it bothers me. I feel like it's like someone trying really hard to sing, and it's like and he like over enunciates. Oh, the misery, enemy, and I'm just like you're like like I skip the Arcane intro every time. I don't know if
you
that's
know.
like a hot take. I feel like Imagine Dragons is like extremely successful and popular, so people must like them. Like my mom likes Imagine Dragons.
Yeah,
I don't
my
know who
girlfriend.
else
My
like.
girlfriend loves Imagine
Oh
Dragons.
man,
So
well, oopsie.
it's funny, man. I don't get it either. I saw a tweet just like now that said that someone called Imagine Dragons Nickelback for Gen Z, and I'm
Yes.
like,
Oh my
yeah,
god. That's
it tracks.
I think that's a pretty apt comparison.
I dig it though. But
Yeah.
we're speaking of butt rock. I think we've danced around the subject a bit. Where it's time to talk about the real big announcement
The
of the
only
Game
things that
Awards.
mattered at Game Awards.
Yes, which is Ben Schwartz.
Yeah.
Riffing for 5 minutes with a Jim Carrey recording. Uh, Ben Schwartz is so fucking funny, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah, my I'm gonna shout out my friend Braith, but he was so upset because he literally like weeks ago we were talking about like I forget the exact context, but it was something about work. Like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we presented something this way? And his joke was like, oh yeah, I want to like present something like holding like a disc or like a cassette or like a VCR
uh-huh.
tape and be like, I have the file here, and then like running over to like play it, but it's just cues a digital file. And then Ben
Yeah.
Schwartz did like the exact same joke, and then I immediately thought of him. And within seconds, Braith texts me, be like, Ben Schwartz stole my joke. uh, so that was
That's
really
rich.
funny. But yeah, Ben Schwartz is like he should have just done like a whole comedy special at the Game Awards. That would have really made things great. But yeah, he was very funny. And then I genuinely don't remember what Jim Carrey said. He went on like this very random bit. And I'm like, I don't know what Jim Carrey's doing, but he's having a really fun time with it. So I'm happy for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he just went just full Scotsman, and I'm like, you know what? It's Jim Carrey. It's fine. But
Yeah.
yeah, announced at the Game Awards, we got the official trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is dropping in theaters April 8th in 2022, if I believe correctly. The film still stars James Marsden, aka Cyclops from the X-Men series,
AKA Donut Lord.
aka Donut Lord. Got to put respect on his name. Yep, he's back as the I actually forget what his actual character's name is. Is it
I don't remember. I only remember
oh my
Donut Lord because he
god.
called. Yeah, that's what he's called. Like in like 60% of the movie.
Yeah, I like straight up forget. I'll look it up in a second, but yeah, the movie features Ben Schwartz coming back as the titular Sonic the Hedgehog, and the film also introduces Tails, Miles Prower, of Sonic fame, best friend to Sonic the Hedgehog, and Knuckles the Echidna back in villain form. Uh, Tails is voiced by video game actress Colleen O'Shaughnessy, which is great. I love that. Love that for her. Being able to survive in an era where everyone's being voiced by Chris Pratt and
God.
big name celebrities.
Yeah. No.
Uh, you know,
I'm really glad that uh, Colleen was brought on because we can finally talk about this now that the Sonic 2 trailer's out. But the post credit scene in Sonic 1 movie is Tails, and he was voiced by Colleen for that scene, and that was actually like I was like when people popped off in the theaters because Tails was in the movie, but like I was mostly like I popped off not just because Tails was there. I was popping off because it was actually Tails. Like it was the
Yeah.
voice of Tails. I'm like, wait,
Exactly.
shit, did they get Colleen? Because that sounds exactly like her. So I remember just like trying to like verify it, and it was her. So I was like, man, I would be really upset if they just like. I was worried that it was a situation where like because it was like one line for a post credit scene that they weren't like ready to cast Tails. So like, well, we'll just get her to do the one line, and then if we get greenlit for the second movie, we'll just recast Tails.
Yeah, with
And
like Scarlett Johansson or like some big name celebrity or
yeah,
something.
so I was really worried that was gonna happen, and then especially after like Mario movie doing the whole like just every random celebrity you could think of playing a Mario character, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Like it's just, I was like, all right, like who are they gonna get for Tails? So I think to like get the actual voice actress was, I'm just really happy that she's getting that recognition, and just hearing her in like a Hollywood picture is really exciting.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And again, we got at least a small glimpse of Knuckles the Echidna, voiced by Idris Elba, which is awesome. Jim Carrey, obviously back as Dr. Ivo Robotnik,
Wait, is he
and
credited as Ivo in the movie?
that's what, according to what it says in the wiki, that's
Oh
what he's
wow,
credited as. Yeah,
I'm trying to
Ivo
remember.
Eggman Robotnik.
I don't think in the first movie he is Eggman. Does he ever say? I think he's just
I think
Robotnik.
Sonic just calls him Eggman as
Yeah,
like,
yeah, he does it as like a nickname.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
think I
interesting.
think they're leaning into the actual. One of the things we'll talk about is that they definitely seem a little bit closer to the source material,
Hmm.
at least from what they showed in the trailer so far. But yeah, like you mentioned, James Marsden back as Tom Wachowski. Wachowski, that's the guy's name, and
Great.
Tika Sumpter back as his wife. So cool,
just
cool beans.
just his wife,
Maddie, I believe, is what her name
Maddie.
is. Matt,
Okay.
yeah, the one with the Zillow
Was
page
it
up.
Pretzel Girl or something? Was that
Yeah,
song?
pretzel lady.
Pretzel Lady. That's what it was. Yeah.
So it's
So
so funny.
dumb. Uh,
But yeah, we take a look at what a lot of our big set pieces are here. Sonic trying to fit in amongst the normal people of Green Hills, Montana, and
greatest place
Doc
on earth.
Grace, yes. We get a glimpse of Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman coming back to Earth after being vanquished to what looks like Mushroom Hill Zone from Sonic 3 or from Sonic and Knuckles, whichever pick your poison on that one. We take a look at some of our bigger set pieces here. The Master Emerald is going to play a major part in this film, as it usually does in most Sonic games, I guess, that involve Knuckles. Um, and we get to see the tornado, which is dope. There's a lot of really cool video game references and stuff. And I thought the trailer did a pretty good. It was a good trailer. So let's get your thoughts first. Where are you at? Because by the time we did this podcast, the movie had already been out for a few months, so we didn't really like talk about it too much. But like, where are you now in an era where there's going to be two Sonic films, and what were your thoughts on the trailer? So
Well, I'm just really excited to be in a timeline where people will be able to say that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is one of the greatest video games and movies ever made. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like, I think all of us as Sonic fans, we always have to be skeptical when there's new Sonic things because it's like, well, it always starts promising, and then you get the thing, and then you're like, well, this is what we got. But I think like to kind of revisit Sonic One for a second, that movie I think ended up surprising all of us in that it was like an acceptable movie. We were like,
yeah,
oh, like I think everyone I've talked to, their reaction is always that was better than I expected, and then some people like genuinely really liking it. So I think it like kind of did the impossible, considering where it started with the original model, listening to fan feedback, and being able to like at least visually correct what it looked like. And I think for the first movie, like I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I have my grievances, but for what it was, I thought it was a lot of fun, and it's just like I think it's a solid like kids movie, right?
yeah,
um but I've seen it, like I watched it multiple times. I made other people watch it, and I always have fun. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie. But I definitely like wished it was like it's like not a fully Sonic movie. Like I feel like it spends so much time in like these like these smaller locations and a lot of human characters, and we don't get a lot of that. Like the best parts of the Sonic movie are the very beginning and the very end.
Yes.
um and when once it was Sonic 1 was a commercial success. I believe the highest grossing movie, like video game adaptation.
Yes.
uh
And the sixth highest grossing film of 2020.
yeah, so what a year.
Yeah.
But like I think a lot of people wouldn't, like, especially like Detective Pikachu kind of set the bar for what
Yeah.
a video game adaptation movie could be. And I think like a lot of people enjoyed Detective Pikachu for what it was. And that was kind of like, when this first Sonic trailer came out, all the memes were like looking at like how authentic Pikachu looked versus the awful thing
Yes.
that we got. So like it was just kind of like it was a PR nightmare, really. Or maybe I don't know, it could have been a PR blessing, because when they spun it around, obviously everyone was like talking about it. So um,
Yeah.
I'm not part of the conspiracy that thinks it was intentional. I think it was like I think there was a conscious decision to make them bad, because they thought it was going to be a good idea. But that
Yes.
aside, right? So anyway,
Yeah.
all that to say that it went beyond people's expectations. It outperformed Detective Pikachu, and um, a lot, like I followed the news after the fact once like the sequel was greenlit and all that, and the director, is it Jeff Fowler?
Yes.
He was like on interview saying how he really wanted the first movie to have more Sonic stuff, but it just didn't. Whether it was like budget reasons or whatever else, like they just couldn't work it in as much as they wanted to. And that, but he was like, if we get another movie, it's absolutely going to have more Sonic in it. Like we want to introduce more Sonic elements from like his world. So in his world, I think there was like a lot of my hopes were like, okay, I like if for me to really be excited about a second movie like this, it needs to have those things. Like we already confirmed that we're getting Tails, but there's got to be more. So I was actually kind of thinking that they were going to hold Knuckles for the third movie to kind of do like a Sonic 1, 2, and 3 kind of thing. But the fact that we're getting Knuckles, we're going to get Jim Carrey as full Robotnik now.
Oh
Tails
yeah.
is there from the beginning. We're getting more of that Sonic Tails buddy dynamic instead of Sonic and random human.
Yes.
So I really hope that like a lot of like the kind of the new like human stuff takes a little bit more of a backseat. Like I'm fine with it. It can still be there as evidence at the beginning of the trailer and stuff. Like
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be there, but I hope that it focuses more on like the crazy world building stuff, and the fact that like seeing like the shrine for the Master Emerald, that was like the coolest thing for me personally.
Oh yeah.
Just seeing that in there, a lot of references like with the snowboarding, and it just feels like watching this trailer versus the Sonic 1 trailer, you can feel how dense the Sonic movie 2 is going to be.
Yes.
And I'm like genuinely like very excited for what this movie is going to be.
Yeah. Step one, light banter. Step two, I have no idea what's next.
Yeah.
that line, that line was funny. Honestly, I echo a lot of the same sentiments. I think my biggest gripe, again, I was pleasantly surprised with the Sonic movie. Again, I feel like as Sonic fans, we are constantly in a state of waiting for the other shoe to drop, and just bad things to happen. And yeah, I thought the movie was fine. It was, it's a good family film. It's a romp. It's stupid. It's funny. I laughed out loud. I saw it twice in theaters. Crazy.
I think
But I
I
had a
also saw it twice. I was trying to remember if I saw it 3 times, but I think I saw it twice in theaters.
Yeah, and it was a fun movie. It was a step in the right direction. Again, of all the franchises to get the video game movie formula right,
Hmm.
it's the one franchise that can't seem to get out of its way in regards to the actual game series. But I digress. But yeah, my biggest gripe with the first movie is exactly like you said. It was Sonic, but it wasn't Sonic. There wasn't again, there wasn't a lot of references to the games. There was that little piano piece of you know uh of Green Hill Zone that played at the end of the film. And like you said, the best parts of the film in regards to the source material or the beginning and the end, or whenever Sonic does a spin dash in the middle of the movie. Um, I was immediately like this once I heard that full orchestral version of Emerald Hill Zone. Woof, bro, it's like a ghost passed through me. Like my skin got weird. Like I started to cry. I was like, oof. Like after listening to the Sonic Orchestra for like, it only took me to the ninth time to listen to Green Hill Zone without crying. That's the first note. Uh, but that's exactly what I wanted. I'm just like, yes, like full orchestrated versions of these hits that we love, on the big screen. That's awesome. You saw the skateboard that he's riding around in that one scene, and it's like, I think it's like a skateboard from like Sonic Adventure, like promo art or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't
yeah,
think it's
there's like,
I don't know if that's the board that's even in the game. I feel
I
like
don't
it
think
was.
it is.
I think it's just art that
Yeah,
was promoted. Yeah, so I'd have to
yeah,
replay. My memory's failing me, but I don't remember if that exact board is even in the game. I think the
yeah.
design might be different.
Yeah, I might be misremembering that also too. It's been a long time, but yeah, and then you like you said, like the set of where the Master Emerald is, it's big, it's scaling. There's that one shot they show of like running down a hallway. I'm just like, yeah, this definitely looks like a Sonic, running at me in first person, like running at the screen at me, sort of thing. Like if the with the City Escape truck, segment, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. This is like it is in a expansion on what the first film already made. Like you said, Jeff Fowler in interviews has said, if we get greenlit for a sequel, we're making it more Sonic. And lo and behold, at least from what we've seen from these trailers so far, that's exactly what we've seen. It's I think it looks awesome. I'm excited to hear more of Idris Elba, and the amount of like I also brought up like thought of what you said yesterday where you're like, does everybody think Knuckles is hot now? Like
Oh
like
my
what's
god.
going on
I
here?
know, I'm like, why is so much of the internet like got like they're just horny for Knuckles? I never knew this whole time.
I don't know,
Just
man. He's sexy.
I guess. I mean, Knuckles is cool, but sure, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna yuck people's yums, so to speak. If they're horny for Knuckles, like do what you got to do. Um,
I gotta
but
go.
I think what's also interesting because I was pulling up the video for reference, but like the trailer is number one on trending on YouTube, so I think that just like shows how much of a impact that this trailer is having on people
Yeah,
and like just how excited people are for it. And yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I'm super pumped for the like video game elements that are being incorporated. Like, and just seeing, like, it's no secret that Sonic 3 Knuckles is my favorite game of all time. So, like,
sure.
having like that Sonic Knuckles rivalry brought back, like bringing back that story arc in a new way and having it on the biggest screen possible just brings me so much joy because that's like, you know, such like that's like peak Sonic era for me.
Yeah,
So, like, I don't know, just getting like that kind of glorified is really cool. And uh I saw that the Japanese title for the movie, like the subtitle is actually Sonic versus Knuckles.
oh,
And that's like
that
such
is
a
so
sick
awesome.
angle. Like I feel like they're trying to treat it like it's like Captain America versus
Iron Man.
Iron Man, like like it's like that kind of vibe. But like,
Oh,
yeah, even just seeing like the clip where Sonic is like spin dashing into Knuckles and he just stops him with his hand, like, and
yeah,
then Idris Elba delivers that line like so well. It's super cool. And they nailed Knuckles' design. This time around, Tyson Hess. He was brought on for the redesign of the Sonic 1 looks,
yeah.
which, like saved the movie. And I'm a huge fan of Tyson Hess. I've been following his work since I was in like middle school, maybe like early high school, but I've been following his stuff for a long time. I read his boxer hockey web comic and his Sonic like parody comic.
Yeah.
One of my most viral tweets is how I talk about how Tyson Hess worked on like Nipples the Enchilada comic, and now he's literally like the like lead character designer on the Hollywood movie adaptation of Sonic. I also did one of like the first social videos I did at Crunchyroll was about Tyson Hess's work on Sonic Mania, and that like went viral on like animation Twitter. Like Rubber Ross retweeted it, and like Tyson Hess saw the
Hell yeah.
video. So anyway, yeah, so I'm a big fan of Tyson Hess. I'm very familiar with his work. he also worked on the comics for a period of time, and he does like covers for the IDW comics currently. Um, so Tyson Hess now being on the ground floor for this movie and being like the head character designer for this movie, like it just shows like the balance of kind of like the elements that make it work for 3D live action while still being faithful to like the original vibes and looks of the characters. Like I think like they really nailed it this time around, and it's just I don't know, it's so nice to just like be able to enjoy it. Whereas with the first movie, we were like, this is hideous. And then they finally fixed it. And you're like, well, but there's still, because they like messed that up so badly, you still have that anxiety of like, well,
Yeah.
hope the movie's decent.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we were pleasantly surprised. But like this time around, I feel like they really, like, I, like, again, like famous last words, but they'd really have to like bungle the script big time somehow to
Yeah.
make what we've seen so far fail, because it just looks so good. Like you're talking about the scene with Sonic being like, step one, like
Yeah.
just like the shots of Sonic on the top of the tornado with Tails piloting, like dodging like robotics attacks. Like
Yeah.
I love that, man. Like that just brings me so much joy. It's it's what it's all about right there.
Yeah. Just like as again, like as longtime fans as we both are, we're both gonna just feel those like massive pangs of nostalgia. Just like, again, being a Sonic fan is a full-time job and there's no health insurance and it sucks sometimes. But
Yeah.
like when you get those moments like that like pay off, like I watched the first Sonic movie and was like, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I was excited. It gave me hope for what, hey, we're going to get a second movie and then a third movie, and then you're going to be able to plug the third movie into the fourth movie, and then it's going to be the best movie of all time. That's how it works, right?
Yeah,
But
I saw a tweet that said something like there should be two versions of the trailer, and you need to like attach a cartridge in order to see the trailer with Knuckles in it. Yeah,
Oh man, yeah, but like again, like if the more in references there are, obviously the more it's gonna impact on the fans. And again, I love Knuckles' design. I love that they're able to make him look menacing without like making him look like too twiggy. Like I think that's like
hmm
my biggest issue with like Knuckles' like design in general is that like he's like labeled as like the buff guy, but like he's like super lanky, and then obviously Sonic Boom happened, and then they made him like a little too big, which is like weird. But they were going to give him some size, but while also making staying true to the original design. And I think it's awesome. Idris Elba's a great pick. He's one of my favorite actors in Hollywood. So
yeah,
uh
he's
I'm very,
awesome.
yeah, I'm stoked
And
for that.
but yeah, I think that like when there's early on when they had like the set photos with like the Knuckles stand-in,
Yes.
everyone like when people were like commenting on that design, it was like he has a little bit of that like Boom body shape where he's like his like shoulders are a bit broader, and his
Yeah.
arms are a little bigger. But yeah, it's not as ridiculous as the Boom design and like overdone. So I think they found like a happy medium to like convey that like Knuckles kind of being like this powerhouse without it like kind of sacrificing the integrity of his design.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, I think it's a good balance. And actually, like, I don't know, this is kind of just like a random thought, but like I was very interested to see how they were going to treat his gloves.
Yes.
Like were they like, especially again, like looking at Boom, they went with a very different direction for his hands, and I was like, are they going to try to like go for like more realism, with the gloves or something?
Yeah.
But like, but no, they like stayed extremely faithful to like his cartoonish gloves with the big spikes on them. So that rules. I love that.
Yeah, no, that was sick. I love that. And again, makes you think what other references might pop up in this movie. With the existence of the Master Emerald, does that mean the Chaos Emeralds are going to pop up in this movie?
Yeah, with the
Possibly.
first shot of the Master Emerald, because of the size, I thought that it was a Chaos Emerald.
Right.
I was like, oh, like they're introducing Chaos Emeralds, but then as like the trailer progressed, I realized that that was actually the Master Emerald. Because normally in the games, the Master Emerald's like so huge compared to like
Yeah, it's it's
Sonic.
it's a big old honking thing.
Yeah, so I think in this one they like it's kind of like somewhere, it's like the size is somewhere between like a Chaos Emerald and like the Master Emerald. But yeah, I think including that element's really cool, and like the you know one of the fan theories, like from the first movie, is that because they introduced the Echidna tribe in the beginning of the movie, hunting Sonic, and he has to escape because of his power. I mean, everyone's like, oh, so like, I think like the lore of this movie is that Sonic's power is connected to the Master Emerald.
Right.
And additionally, like with Knuckles, like obviously he's like super strong, and he's like, Edge is like, it's like, I don't need your power. So like I think he like in Knuckles, canonically having been the guardian of the Master Emerald, I'm sure his powers also come from the Master Emerald, which makes me like even more assured that that's going to be the narrative with Sonic, is that he is, he probably like he got a power that he like wasn't supposed to get from the Master Emerald or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
So I think that's like, and the Knuckles being in or the Echidna tribe is there to like, you know, he gets duped by Robotnik like he always does into believing that Sonic's like a bad guy, and he's there to like, yeah, to defend the honor of the Echidna tribe or whatever, to like protect the Master Emerald from him. That kind of scenario. So I think that's gonna be interesting to see play out.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm already banking we're gonna see at least one other Sonic friend pop up, whether it be in a post-credit scene or like at the end of the movie. And I saw a great tweet yesterday it was just a picture of Shadow, and then the next picture was a picture of Keanu Reeves. And
Oh
I'm like,
god.
you know what? I'm okay with
Well,
it.
speaking of Keanu Reeves, I realized when we were doing our Game Awards conversation that we did not mention the Keanu Reeves appearance. That
Oh,
not in person, but he was on screen
yes.
for the Matrix, and he was having a blast.
Yeah.
Just living it up. He was
That movie
making.
comes out next week too, I'm pretty sure.
That's next week. God damn, there's so
Yeah,
many movies.
I think the Matrix and Spider-Man are coming out like within like a week of each other or something. I don't know.
That's
I hope they're not
crazy.
releasing on the same day. I have to look this up for my
No,
sanity. So
yeah, that's nuts. And they say that the theaters are dying.
yeah, I'd like to show them my wait queue for getting Spider-Man tickets next week.
Uh huh.
December 22nd, so it comes out the weekend after. So
Okay, I want to see both of those in
actually,
theaters.
wait, December 22nd, isn't it like in the middle of the week or something? Like, yeah, that's a Wednesday. What?
Yeah.
That's a weird. Yeah. Anyway,
Damn, I'm not working that day. I took that day off, so I might as well go see Matrix.
hey,
Yeah, but
great. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I guess as far as like characters that, like, do we want to try to guess what like what if there's going to be any characters that aren't in the trailer that'll appear?
I gotta see Amy, man. That's all I want.
I really do hope they add Amy, just because like I don't think she's going to be the next character, but I hope she's in the third movie. Just because like I don't know, it's all dudes, so.
Yeah, we need some feminine energy.
Actually, here's my wild swing that they wouldn't do. Amy would be priority, but like, what if they just put Blaze in instead?
Yo,
Because
that'd be
Blaze
fucking
would be
funny.
sick as hell, and like she would fit in so well with like the world that they're building. Because she's like
Oh
also
man.
powerful, but it might get too convoluted because her whole thing is like she comes from a universe that's like a parallel universe, like with her own Robotnik
Yeah.
and like emeralds, like, so that would probably be too much. But anyway, yeah, Amy would be a great addition. But my fan theory still from the first movie is that I really want to see Metal Sonic.
Oh
um
man, that would be so sick.
yeah, because the first movie ends with him revealing that Dr. Robotnik has one of Sonic's quills.
I'll be back by Christmas.
Yeah, and like I could easily see him using that quill to recreate. He could, like, that's what would power Metal Sonic, right? So like I feel like it's like right there. Like if they don't do it, it's such a missed opportunity. So I'm really hoping that they're like waiting to reveal it, and
Yeah.
then like I'm thinking like the twist at the end of the movie will be like once Knuckles realizes that Robotnik's the bad guy and Sonic isn't, and they like team up, like that Robotnik's like final like trick up his sleeve is like unleashing Metal Sonic on them, and then like
Oh
Metal
man.
Sonic like whips their ass. Like that
I
would
know
be
everything that
so
you're going to
cool.
do.
Yeah. So that's what I know a lot of people want Shadow, and I think Shadow would be cool too, but I just think like narratively and just like I don't know, Metal Sonic would be so sick. Like that would just
Yeah.
be hype as hell.
Yeah, we still got some time in the Sonic cinematic universe before we eventually get to adventure plot lines.
Yeah.
But that being said, though, if we're talking recasting our favorites with Hollywood voice actors, if the thought just popped to my head, I'm just like, I see Amy pop up on my big screen, and she's voiced by Kristen Shaw.
Oh no.
It's like, yo, man, it's
Uh,
kind of perfect.
that's pretty funny.
Man, but yeah, listen, like I said, this movie comes out April 8th, 2022. Put it in your calendar. Take your girlfriends. Take your mom. I will be seeing this in theaters, most likely. I'm still trying to like work
Most
out like,
likely.
dude. It's weird. I don't know where the movie theater industry is going to be in April with how these these
Yeah.
variants keep dropping on the pipeline.
Yeah, fair
You know,
enough.
but I've also been not going to theater like a handful of times, since they started opening back up again, and it's been fun. So
Yeah.
I feel like movies are meant to be watched on the big screen, especially ones with Ben Schwartz in it, I guess.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been going back like to because our local theaters are reopening, so I've been trying to support the local biz. And it's just nice to be back at the theater. So
Yeah,
obviously wear a mask and all that good stuff. But I'm
yeah,
hoping that we don't have another insane
yeah,
outbreak.
yeah. Just let me make it through Spider-Man, and then
Yeah,
we'll talk, and then I don't have to go back to the movies for like another 6 months
get your
or 4 months.
boosters,
Yeah, do
etc.
that thing.
Yeah,
Sonic says,
Sonic
get
says.
vaccinated.
Yeah, Sonic says get fucking vaccinated, bro.
But speaking of Sonic, yeah, there we go. We'll go
No
with that one.
way. We're talking about Sonic.
Weird. Yeah, the other big announcement to come out of the Game Awards, at least the ones that I gave a shit about, not only the announcement of the next Sonic movie, or the reveal of the next Sonic movie, we have an official name and more than 8 seconds of footage for the next generation Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers, set to come out holiday 2022 on all your favorite platforms, including but not limited to the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4 and 5, Windows PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, and by proxy, S. So we got a look at a much better look at this game than we did back during the Sonic what was the real like the Sonic 21st anniversary stream or the 30th anniversary
30th, yeah, 30th,
celebration.
yeah,
Yeah, the 30th anniversary stream back in May where we saw like literally like 8 seconds of footage and then that was it.
yeah,
We had no idea what the fuck we were looking at. And then lo and behold, now, there's some leaks that came out of like what the game like might have been, but nobody really knew for sure what that was going to be. We take a look at Sonic here in what they're calling at Sega an open zone adventure
uh-huh.
inspired experience. Sonic is running around on this I think they said what the name of the island is.
Starfall Island, I believe.
Yeah, Starfall Island. It's this big, vast open land with a bunch of different, from what they're saying on the article I'm looking at on Polygon. A bunch of different biomes and areas, and basically what we can boil it down to is that it's a Breath of the Wild style Sonic game featuring Shadow of the Colossus bosses. Interesting. So, what I'm still trying to form my thoughts on what I feel about this, but where are you at with this right now?
Yeah, so I've said this before, which is that like every game is Breath of the Wild now.
Yes.
Which like I get it, but I don't know. I'm also kind of just like burnt out on that. Like Genshin Impact, Halo Infinite, like all these games are just these open world uh, environments like inspired by Breath of the Wild. And like sure, whatever. Like that's fine. But now that it has infiltrated uh my favorite franchise, I'm just like, okay, in some ways like I'm a little skeptical about an open world Sonic, but in theory, like it could be like it could be cool as hell because
Yeah.
thinking about growing up like playing the original Sonic Adventure with like the overworld maps and stuff, like I love just running around and finding little secrets and exploring and doing like all those things before playing like the actual levels and having to do like some of the little missions and quests that happen within the map. Like I think it like does work for Sonic. Like it's definitely doable. Um, And I think the big thing with Sonic though is that I'm very curious, like what mechanically the game is going to be like, because my biggest concern is, looking historically at other Sonic games, like Unleashed, right? Like I I hate to love Sonic Unleashed. I don't love
Yes.
to hate it. I hate to love it. And Sonic Unleashed, like it had like you had to like level up your stats, and had, like
Yeah.
for the Werehog you had like unlock moves. I'm like, I don't play Sonic to like unlock
Yeah.
abilities. Like I want everything from the start. I just want to be able to play. I mean, granted, like Sonic Adventure games kind of did it well, where you get like some of the upgrades later on, and it's like you get like light
Yeah.
rain dash and things like that over
It's not like a
time.
Destiny style thing where you have to use like in-game currency to like upgrade your
Right.
stuff. You
Yeah.
just find power-ups throughout the course of a game.
Yeah, you don't
So,
need like EXP and all that shit, like
yeah.
what or whatever, like the way they want to scale it. So like my concern with this game is that they're gonna like try to rip too directly from like those styles of games. Like I'm gonna be so mad if like I have an inventory in this game. Like I'm gonna be so pissed if I have to craft items. Like I don't know. Like that's the thing I don't want, and I feel like it's going to be there because that's just like what every game is now. Like Animal Crossing has crafting. Like I think that's just what it's going to be, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
pissed about it. So that part I'm not like. Again, it's all me speculating, but that's what I'm most nervous about. I think, but like the prospect of having like if they go all out and they just have a huge open world for you to like run around in, like that could be really fun and really interesting.
Yeah.
And like I one of the things I liked about Lost World, because I know that's like a kind of a divisive game, but I liked it. I think it's like I'm a Lost World defender. It's not perfect, but it's a fun, solid
No,
game.
I agree. I think that game's the console version again, have to
Yeah. Oh
specify.
no, the
Console version of
3DS
the game,
version's awful, but
dog
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Dog shit game. Console
Co-
version's fun though.
yeah, console version's really good. And the parkour could have been better executed, but there's a lot of ideas and things that I like about it. Like I love being able to run up walls and like grab ledges and things like that. So like if this game incorporates, like you can run across like water to get to certain areas, you can run up walls and like just go to like if you can just like traverse everything, that
Mhm.
would be really really cool. And I do like the what I am excited about this game, even if I'm a little skeptical about how open world is going to be implemented, is that like just from what they've shown with the environments and like the teaser with like that kind of like what I assume is like a boss battle. Um, this feels like the first Sonic game in a long time where they're actually taking a risk to do something big. Like
Yeah.
Sonic Unleashed really to me was like the last ambitious Sonic game. Everything since then has been very like there's been like Sonic Colors really good, but it's very like and also having replayed Colors Ultimate, like it's a very
Hmm.
small game.
Yeah.
It's short. You could beat it in like 8 hours.
It feels safe. It's
It's
safe.
very yeah, it's not like a grandiose game. Generations is I think I prefer that over Colors. It borrows a lot of the elements that made Unleashed work, but again, kind of scaled down in terms of like the scope of the world, and
Hmm.
it's still very dependent on tried and true things that we liked about the franchise. Still an amazing game, but there hasn't been something where they really went out there and did like something really on a grand scale again. So seeing these like more realistic like next gen environments, uh kind of I'm actually like into that. I know some people are kind of
Hmm.
like they have their preferences on what Sonic should be, but I actually think that I like when there's the balance between like the kind of the cartoony side of Sonic with like inspiration from real world elements.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it works like Unleashed is aesthetically like one of the coolest Sonic games ever. Like
Yes.
I love how they approached the level design in that. So if this has like takes a lot of those cues, I think it could be really cool, and it could just be a just a really grand experience. Um, but I am very curious to see how how will the open world environments play? Will there be segments that are maybe more like linear? Because I like the race to the finish for
Yeah.
Sonic. You know, like I want there to be like I want to be able to improve my times on a level. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there are like I guess in the same way that Breath of the Wild has like the shrines and the dungeons and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
that there's like an open world, and then you know you might have like the big boss battles, and then you might have to do challenges where Sonic is just running to the you have to just like
Mm-hmm.
get through the end of the course. So that kind of stuff, I feel like there's a lot we don't know yet and that we haven't seen. So it's really hard to get like too excited because I just have no idea what the execution is going to be. But from what they've shown, it's visually really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I think the environments are cool. It feels a little shameless, if I'm being
Yes.
honest. Like it feels like too directly referenced, like similar to Breath of the Wild, and I want
Yeah.
more. I want more loop de loops and stuff. I hope that there's more Sonic elements to the environments, but
Needs more chili dogs.
right. But it looks good, and I do like Sonic's CG character model a lot, and the cutscenes that they're showing. It's just nice to see that level of
Mm-hmm.
care again in the Sonic animation. So
Yeah.
I have high hopes, and high hopes with an asterisk. But that was like my initial takeaways.
I feel like we've all been saying high hopes with an asterisk since like Boom
Uh-huh.
came out.
Oh
It's just like,
yeah.
oh hey, they brought back the friends, everybody's running fast. Yeah, it looks cool, and then it plays like dog shit.
Yeah.
And it was the worst Christmas of my life.
Yeah.
No, I listen. You echoed a lot of how and I'm sure a lot of I've talked to a lot of my other friends that also like Sonic as well. We're all kind of in the same boat. We're just like, you want to touch it with kid gloves, you don't want to get too close. Where it's just like, I don't know, like it's weird, it's different. And listen, this is kind of like you said, the era that we're in now. We're back in like 2009, 2010, where everybody's trying to be the next Skyrim, and like now everybody's trying, or like everyone's trying to be like the Dark Souls of like whatever.
Yeah.
Like everybody's trying to like emulate like that really popular game that like changed gaming or like all that jazz. So like you see it with Horizon, you see it like you said with you said Halo's doing it too. Like they're
Oh yeah, the Halo Infinite's going to be like an open world. It's like kind of thing. Yeah.
Who asked for this?
Uh-huh.
But then it's even infiltrating, like you said, like Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yes, I knew I was forgetting another.
Yeah, which
upcoming
comes out in
one.
like a fucking month.
Yeah.
All the way, like that game comes out super fucking soon.
So worried about that game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Hisuian Voltorb looks cute as hell. So whatever.
I mean, it's like another situation of like, love the new Pokemon designs. I love the concept. The premise is really cool.
Yeah, but like, why am I getting my ass kicked by animals?
Well, I kind of like that too. I like that there's like these challenges of like the bigger Pokemon that you have to fight, but like it just looks so ugly.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like graphically, like it's really rough, and I just wish that they just like gave that game like another year to focus purely on polishing it visually and making it actually look like a next gen game. So anyway, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a month.
Yeah.
But again, listen, like this is kind of the era that we're in right now. And listen, like you, I also enjoyed running around a hub world, in Sonic Adventure and in Sonic Unleashed, and even to an extent in Sonic 06, which is why I like that game more than I like other Sonic games, because at least I can like mindlessly run around in a hub world for like an hour and like forget that I'm playing a dog shit video game. But it's one of those things where it's like, I want to be optimistically excited because, I'm currently still playing Breath of the Wild. I think the game's great. I get it. I understand why it's so popular. As there are elements of that game that I would love to see implemented in a Sonic formula, like you said. Challenges would be cool. Zones would be cool. Or I guess is what they'd be calling it. Do I want to scale mountains to find Chow hiding under rocks? No, I don't want to do that. Do I want to have to, make food, to survive? Is there going to be a blood moon that brings back all of, are there going to be badniks just casually roaming around in the overworld or whatever? I don't know. Like, so there's aspects that I'm worried of if they try to go to Breath of the Wild, is it going to work? Although to be fair, Sonic and Zelda did canonically cross over, and it did work. It worked out pretty well. In that Lost World DLC, which is a lot of fun.
Great game.
Yeah, that game's awesome.
That game had that Legend of Zelda level and like a Yoshi's Woolly World level.
An odd crossover.
Yeah.
I actually have that game bought on Steam. I haven't played the PC version yet, so I might do that at some point.
Yeah, so. I play on Steam sometimes. It's fun.
Yeah, but I'm approaching this with cautious optimism, because again, there's the aspect of the Breath of the Wild, but then there's the aspect of the Shadow of the Colossus, where it's like, hey, there's no bad guys in this game, but there's like 13 of these big ass fucking monsters that you got to fight, and each one in scaling in in challenge and chaos, and you know I love Shadow of the Colossus. That's one of my favorite video games of all time. So if that's an approach they decide to go there, cool. I'm on board with it. But again, until I see more of what this game looks like, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna hold my breath for a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit of the copium to try to like talk myself through it. But I'm gonna approach this with cautious optimism, because I'm still waiting for them to try to shoehorn the wisps in here somehow, and I'm gonna hate it.
Oh my god, if wisps are in this game, I'm gonna be pissed. But yeah, I think that all makes sense. And yeah, Shadow of the Colossus, awesome game. Do I necessarily need a Sonic of the Colossus? I don't know, but I think there could be like this isn't the first time Sonic has fought giant like intergalactic ancient beings. So, like like the Biolizard fight and the Chaos and Dark Gaia. Like Sonic has
Yeah.
had his foray of just like fighting absolutely massive monsters. So I think they could definitely make it work in this context. Like it would be cool if you just like had to run up like the back of a giant monster and its back is like basically a zone, kind of like what they did when you like have to fight Dark Gaia, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
there could be some interesting things to play with there, and I think it could be it could be cool, but we're working off so little that it's like really hard. Like you could just make assumptions and jump to those conclusions, but we just at the end they were just speculating. And I think like with this trailer, I think if this is what they had shown first instead of the 8-second teaser thing,
Yes.
I think people would have been way more like they would have reciprocated this better, because it's an announced trailer at the end. Like all this is like they're just announcing, hey, Sonic Frontiers, we're making it. Here's a look at it. And I think if this was the very first thing we saw, we would probably be a lot more excited. But because we already knew that they were doing it, and then we get this second video, and the video doesn't add that much more, it just makes us more skeptical. But I think if this is the first thing I saw from it at all, like this is better than the first Sonic Forces trailer.
Yeah.
But like we were way more excited for the first Sonic Forces trailer because it was like not a 15-second teaser.
Yes.
So I think like there's a little bit of a misstep with that timing, but yeah, I don't know. I want to be hopeful.
Yeah.
I want to like it, and
I want to love again. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
But there's also there's the whole mystery of who's talking to Sonic in the beginning. We don't.
is it his conscious? Is it Zelda?
Well, you hear that girl talking to him.
Yeah.
It's like Sonic, go like over here or whatever. It's like
in 300 feet, turn left.
Who could it be? So I don't know.
What if it's like Takal or like some weird character?
That'd be wild. My guess is it's probably gonna be a new character.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then some of like the press release stuff that they revealed about it is like, it seems like Dr. Eggman's up to his old tricks and tries to like awaken yet another like thing within
like
this like
mythical beast.
Yeah, on this like this forgotten location. So like apparently from what I was reading, like this island has like, again, this is extremely like every other fucking game of the genre, but it's like this island with like it has like this ancient technology, and Eggman tries to like hack into it, but like he doesn't account for all like it's another thing where it's like, I unleashed Dark Gaia. It's like it's kind of like that kind of setup again. So I'll be curious to see, like I have a feeling like with these monsters, like there's going to be a lot of like non-Badnik stuff going on.
Yeah.
And again, it's just another weird thing because they show us all these environments, but outside of the environments, it's like, are there going to be enemies running around? Like we just have no idea. So
yeah, it's going to be weird. Also, I will say one of the things that makes me excited is that from what I read in the Polygon article and from other sources that Ian Flynn is going to be penning the story for this. So I believe he did. I think he did 2 episodes of the Sonic Boom cartoon. He's mostly known for his work in the comics, from what I understand. But he did 2 episodes of the Sonic Boom cartoon. And I think one of them was the one where Amy has that like big feminist speech about breaking the glass ceiling when playing soccer. If this article is penning this correctly, but take that with a grain of salt. That being said, though, Ian Flynn is a lot of he's a good writer, and I'm excited. So I'm excited for what that might entail. So again, I just I like Sonic when he's quippy and fun, and I think that's why I liked games like why people like games like Colors and to an extent Lost World even that much because there's fun dialogue once you get past the Baldy McNose hair being jammed down your throat. So
God. Well, yeah. Well, that's like, yeah. Ian Flynn was actually the thing from the announcement that I was most excited about when I
yeah.
once I found out because I'm a huge fan of the IDW Sonic comics. I've been reading it since it started. I have every volume. I mean, every issue, and I buy like all the alt covers that I'm able to get. So I have like 2 or 3 copies of every issue of the new Sonic comic. But even prior to that, like I grew up with the Archie comics. I was like I loved those comics. Every time I go to the grocery store, I'd like see if there's a new issue, and if there was, I like beg my grandma to let me get a new issue. So I would always get the Sonic comics, and I think many of the like the Sonic fandom, there's a lot of respect for Ian Flynn, and I think most people recognize his work as being like the peak of the Sonic comics, like during his time at Archie, like his saga of like what the stories that he
hmm
was leading were the best. And now with IDW, now that he's like frequently working on it, like the IDW comics has been like excellent so far. I think Ian Flynn just has like he's really great at just characterizing everyone so well, and he like seamlessly works in like he's able to create new stories while referencing like existing Sonic franchises and lore.
hmm
um so I'm extremely confident in his ability to like write something meaningful with this game, as long as he's not like too controlled by other people.
Yeah.
So I have way more hopes for this game because he's doing the narrative, and that he's not gonna write things that we've been used to for the last like decade with like forces and colors and all that style of dialogue. Like I think he has a really strong grasp on what makes Sonic cool and likable, as well as all the other characters. Like every character in the comic is so much more likable, because of like I mean it's not just Ian Flynn. There's a lot of other talented folks who work on the comic, but his work I think greatly shapes the direction of what makes the Sonic characters narratively good, and kind of guiding them down the right path. So I'm just really excited to see what he brings to the table, and it makes me a lot more optimistic that if they are doing like this ambitious of a game, that they're actually bringing in talent who know and understand why people like this character so much.
Yeah. Listen, we don't know a whole lot right now. We still got literally a whole year until this game comes out. So I will, like, we're all in the same boat. We're gonna hold on to this with some caution. Maybe date a little bit, feel it out, see what our situation's like, and then, if Sega wants to gently let me down next Christmas, too, that'd be great. So it wouldn't be the first time Sega's ruined a Christmas for me, but
Honestly, I'm like, depending on how this goes, I kind of hope that they just announce that it's delayed next year. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I would like be stoked if like summer next year they're like, oh, actually, Sonic Frontiers is 2023. I'd be like, awesome. Like,
yeah.
I would just
Ooh, thank God.
I feel like I'd be able to sleep better at night because I'm just like, I mean, there has been a long period of time since Forces. And I actually forget that it's been like almost 5 years. I think it's like it's somewhere around there, like 4 or 5 years. So it's been a good period of time. They've definitely had a lot of time to develop it, but I just the fatal flaw of like so many Sonic games is that they rush to get it out in time for Christmas so that people, so they get those sales.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, you know what? If you wanted to release the holiday so bad, do holiday 2023. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be. I just want a good game for once that isn't like
Yeah.
that. I don't have to put it. I don't have to be like, I like certain things about the game, or like it would be good if this was better. I just want
Yeah.
to be like, no, like they made a solid game and I can just enjoy it and not have to defend myself.
Yeah, it's a rough life. Like I said, it's a full-time job, no health insurance.
Hmm.
Being a Sonic fan, but hey, at least we're in it together. At least we have a movie to watch together. Which will
That's
be
true.
passable. So,
Movie's gonna
uh,
rip.
yeah, that movie's gonna rip. I'm excited. But we've essentially said everything that that needs to be said. You got any closing thoughts on all the Sonic stuff that's come out? It's been a good year for Sonic. I would say it's been a fun one at least.
It's kind of funny because I feel like last time when we were talking about a lot of the 30th anniversary stuff, it's like I remember the beginning of last year for the 30th anniversary. Everyone was like, "When are they going to announce Sonic stuff?" And we're all getting like anxious. And they kind of like had a rocky start when they didn't have a whole lot to show, and then we found out that Roger Craig Smith was being taken off Sonic, and everyone's like, "What's going on here?" But they corrected course. They brought back on Roger, and then they announced a bunch of cool stuff to kind of give us hope. And now it's like
Yeah.
it just keeps going. Like we got the movie next year, we got this game maybe next year, and then like Netflix has Sonic Prime next year.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, and like I guess like obviously I'm kind of biased because I'm a fan, but I think I'm pretty objective when it comes to like my opinions on Sonic. And I don't mean that like that I'm absolutely right, but I'm critical. Like I'll tell you if
Yeah.
something isn't good or like what's wrong with it. Um, and I think that like what's and I was actually talking to a friend of mine, Daniel. We were talking like it seems like with the exception of whatever, like if this, we don't know if this game is going to be good or not, but like everything around Sonic that isn't like the 3D Sonic games has been really good. Like the movie looks great. The first movie was a success commercially. The comics are really good. Sonic Prime has a lot of promise to be good.
Yeah.
Like it is like I fingers crossed, but it kind of feels like we're in the midst of a bit of a renaissance for the Sonic franchise, where it's actually maybe going to be like the powerhouse that it used to be. That they're
Yeah.
actually like kind of taking like serious swings and executing on it in a meaningful way, and not just pumping out storybook games every
Nah.
couple of years. So
I'm still waiting for
I
Sonic and a Necromancer, man. Come on.
shut up. Uh, so I don't know. Like again, like I think like what sucks is like unless like Frontiers really has to stick the landing, because at the end of the day, like all the other Sonic stuff can be good, but he's a video game character. Like
Yeah.
if his games aren't good, it just
Hot
reflects.
take.
Yeah, it just reflects really poorly on the entire franchise. So like if they can stick the landing with Frontiers, like I think that this stretch of Sonic that we're kind of currently going through and that's about to come out, if they stick that landing, like it's going to be a good time to be a Sonic fan, man. Like probably one of the best times to have ever been a Sonic fan besides the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, man. It's like the song says. He can really move, and he's got attitude, and he's the fastest thing
When he's
alive.
got attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. But uh, listen, I'm excited, and there isn't a better person I'd rather go through this apocalypse or renaissance with than you, buddy. So thanks again for joining me. We definitely put this together at the 11th hour, but I'm glad we were able to get it done.
Yeah, Sonic Speed, baby.
A little bit of stretch,
Yeah.
but listen, let the people know at home where they can find you, what you got going on, anything you want to plug. Go crazy.
Well, thanks for listening to me yammer for over an hour about the blue hedgehog.
Again.
Yeah, again, noticing a theme here, but yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Camalange, Camalange. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Camalange, Twitch.tv if I ever stream again. Mostly play Sonic games when I do, and honestly, that's like I just been busy. uh, so I don't have a lot to plug personally, but yeah, if you like hearing me talk about stuff, I post updates on Twitter of all the random things that I'm doing. So check it out. I guess like I could plug my podcast that hasn't been updated in like 2 years.
Yeah, do it. Screw it.
Ooh podcast. Check it out on anywhere you can download your podcast. We talk about the finer things in life. We're just three fancy guys assessing, the world and the things that are a part of it. So my personal favorite episode is when we interviewed Scott Klopfenstein, formerly of Real Big Fish. So
that's a great episode.
If you want somewhere to start, that's a good place to check it out.
Yeah. I'll leave all that in the description. And listen, if you guys like, again, Cam's been on my podcast a number of times. We've talked about, not just Sonic. We've talked about, sitcoms as well as Pixar movies. So that's actually one of our more popular episodes. So that's a fun one for sure. So I'll make sure you guys, go through the library and check everything out. And listen, if you guys want to follow me, if you feel inclined to, I'm at Koopa NJ across platforms, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all that fun stuff. By the time this podcast comes out, it will already be public knowledge. I will be commentating at the Smash World Tour Championships in Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
This will be coming out the Saturday that I'm there. So I'm either commentating or drunk at Disneyland or both. Who knows? I don't really know. But yeah, that's dope. I've been part of the Smash World Tour all year, and I'm going to be in Florida to watch it close out. So very excited to be there at the time you guys listening to this. So make sure you follow me on social media to stay updated on where I'm at. And again, follow the show on Twitter at Koop'd Pod. We are on the BLEAV podcast network as well as our host site. Show them some love. Download the podcast. It's definitely gonna help me a crap ton. It's at BLEAV.com/shows/Koop'd-up. So our entire library is there. And again, you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. So Cam, once again, thank you for your time. You are a gentleman and a scholar at the same time, not just separately. So
simultaneously, yeah.
Weird. Anyway, that's going to be it from us, folks. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend and take care. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.